of the plenary portion, Lord Vishnu, the expansion of Lord Krishna. Chanda Mayam, chiefly influenced by the directions in the Vedas. Yat, which. Ayaya, Ajaya, because of dark ignorance. Arpit, offered. Sodasa, 16. Aram, the spokes. Samsara, Chakram, the wheel of repeated birth and death in different species of life. Aja, O unborn Lord. Ka, who is there? Ati Tarit, able to get out. Tvat Anya, without taking shelter at your lotus feet. O Lord, O Supreme Eternal, by expanding your plenary portion, you have created the subtle bodies of the living entities through the agencies of your external energy, which is agitated by time. Thus, the mind entraps the living entity in unlimited varieties of desires to be fulfilled by the Vedic directions of Karma Kanda and the 16 elements. Who can get free from this entanglement unless he takes shelter at your lotus feet? If the hand of the Supreme Purport, if the hand of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is present in everything, where is the question of being liberated from material engagement to engagement to spiritual, blissful life? Indeed, it is a fact that Krishna is the source of everything, as we understand from Krishna himself in Bhagavad Gita. All the activities in both the spiritual and material world are certainly conducted by the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, through the agency of either the material or spiritual nature. As further confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9.10, Maya Dhyaksenya par prakriti suyate sachar sa karcharam, without the direction of the Supreme Lord, material nature cannot do anything. It cannot act independently. Therefore, in the beginning, the living entity wanted to enjoy the material energy and to give the living entity all facility. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, created this material world and gave the living entity the facility to concoct different ideas and plans through the mind. These facilities offered by the Lord to the living entity constitute the 16 kinds of perverted support in terms of the knowledge gathering senses, the working senses, the mind, and the 5 material elements. The wheel of repeated birth and death is created by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but to direct the bewildered living entity in progress towards liberation according to varied stages of advancement, different directions are given in the Vedas. Chando Mayam. If one wants to be elevated to the higher planetary systems, he may follow the Vedic directions, as the Lord states in the Bhagavad Gita 9.25. Yanti Deva Vrata Devan Pitran Yantri Pitra Vrata Bhutani Yanti Bhuteya Bhutejaya Yanti Mad Yajino Pi Mam. Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. Those who worship ancestors go to the ancestors, and those who worship me will live with me. The real purpose of the Vedas is to direct one back home, back to Godhead. But the living entity, not knowing the real goal of his life, wants to go sometimes here and sometimes there, and do sometimes this and sometimes that. In this way, he wanders throughout the entire universe, imprisoned in various species, and thus engaging in various activities for which he must suffer the reactions. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore says, Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Kon Bhagyavan Jiva Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Bija. The fallen, conditioned living entity, trapped by the external energy, loiters in the material world, but if by good fortune he meets a bona fide representative of the Lord who gives him the seed of devotional service, and if he takes advantage of such a guru or representative of God, he receives the bhakti lata bij, the seed of devotional service. If he properly cultivates Krishna consciousness, he is then gradually elevated to the spiritual world. The ultimate conclusion is that one must surrender to the principles of bhakti yoga, for then one will gradually attain liberation. No other method of liberation from the material struggle is at all possible. So, ma'am, Mataji, I've done one. Do you want to do the other? Hello, Mataji?
Oh, sorry, Mataji. I was speaking on mute.
No
I
problem.
think, is it possible for you to, like, discuss a little bit? Maybe you can read the translation one more time. So that way, because that gives the gist of the purport. And then maybe Prabhuji can also discuss, and I can also put in some, although we will discuss this on Monday, we will take with the speaker of ours, because they are somehow empowered to, speak like 30-40 minutes on one verse, just like Srila Prabhupada would do. But we can also try, because Prabhupada said for us to repeat, all we have to do is repeat whatever we have, sponged into our mind. So if you would like to explain a little bit. You want me to read the translation? I can read the translation again. O Lord, the Supreme Eternal, by expanding your plenary portion, you have created the subtle bodies of the living entities through the agency of your external energy, which is agitated by time. Thus, the mind entraps the living entity in unlimited varieties of desire to be fulfilled by the Vedic directions of karma kanda, fruitive activities, and the 16 elements. Who can get free from this entanglement unless he takes shelter of your lotus feet? Very nice. So, Mataji, would you like to, or should I say something?
I think Rukmini Mataji, you can continue and allow the explanation.
Yeah, I was thinking that which is written underneath. The mind is always planning how to remain in the material world. I think I have it in my book under the word. Mind is always planning how to remain in the material world and struggle for existence. It is a chief part of the subtle body. The mind, it is a which consists of the mind, intelligence, and the false ego. So it's like, basically this verse is saying that we are basically entrapped in an ego, So the real ego is that we are the servant of Krishna. The false ego is that I'm so and so, like I'm this thing, I'm that. So here Srila Prabhupada ji is saying that the mind is always planning how to remain in the material world, and make all these plans, skyscraper buildings, and basically it is actually a struggle for existence. And even in our material life, we see that a lot of people, they'll have one home, they want to buy another home, then they'll rent out this home, and then they'll want to buy more property, more cars. So they come, and the point is, when they buy all these things, then they have to work more hard, and they're ready to work hard, to achieve all these things, and accumulate more, and think of how our children, and see, every child comes with his quota of whatever he's going to receive. But the parents also start thinking that, no, I have to do this for the child, that for the child. Of course, we should save for our children, everything is good, but not to an unlimited extent, that we are making properties and leaving so much bank balance for the children and things like that, that our own life becomes like an animal life. Because what are the animals doing? Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. That's all they're doing. I mean, if you think of it, they are using their mind, intelligence, and false ego to do eating, which we are doing, sleeping, we do, mating, of course, everyone, human being, animal do, and defending. There's a need, But what about reading scriptures? What about chanting the Lord's name? What about remembering Krishna? What about meeting devotees? All that they're not doing. So it is very scary to think of from one angle that if we also continue with, not feeding the soul and just, decorating this body by wearing good clothes, makeup, and everything, but inside the soul is like crying because it's not getting the nectar. Krishna is in everyone's heart as Atma Paramatma. So, how, like the Bhagavad Gita says, if, a materialistic person, it's like two birds which are looking away from each other. One is looking at the north or south or east or west. They're not connected to each other. And one is a witness bird, other one is the one who's doing the karma, So, but when we come into Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada ji has so kindly given us this movement in which, we make connections of Atma Paramatma. But Atma Paramatma connection can only happen if we connect to the Lord within the heart. And within the heart also, it's very difficult to connect to the Lord, like in meditation, because the mind wanders like anything, and eyes are like looking here and there, and ears want to hear some gossip or something going on, and so it's like the senses and the mind are wandering here and there. And we cannot just sit in meditation that, oh yeah, Atma Paramatma is there, so let me sit in meditation. So Prabhupada gave this Maha Mantra to us, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And in the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, what it actually does is it engages all our service in the service of the Lord. So, the meaning of chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is, oh Lord, please engage me in your service. Please engage me in your loving devotional service. That's what the Maha Mantra says. So we can also engage all our senses, which are at the lowest level, and they are just like those 5 horses running here and there in the seva of the Lord. How we can do that? By chanting. And like yesterday, we were discussing about the fact that there are people who are eating fish, people who are eating that. We don't have to bother about that. The first thing that we have to give them is the chanting of the holy name. Because, we hear the story of Jagai Madai. So when, one of them had hit Lord Nityananda and the blood was coming from his forehead. So then Lord Chaitanya came and he took out the chakra, and he says, I'm going to kill you because you killed my, my associate. So Lord Nityananda said, then you have to kill everyone, because today's Kali Yuga, everybody is like a, what do I say? I mean, Shudra, like everybody is. Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Yes, Mataji, we can hear you and all.
Yes, Mataji, we can hear you.
Yeah. Actually, my screen has gone, but let's see. There's something else coming, so I just wanted to come back to the screen.
Progress.
1 minute, Mataji. Oh, Mataji, sorry. I have 2 phones. So I was looking at the other phone, my USA. I log in with this phone. Yeah, now I'm okay. So I can see the screen and I'm on the phone I'm speaking on. I got confused in 2 phones. I felt I was logged out. So, Jagai Madai, what happened is he said he's going to kill everyone. He told Lord Chaitanya. See, Lord Nityananda is so wonderful, so merciful, that, he was going door to door preaching, to all kinds of people. And he's preaching to these people who are so khatarnak, so dangerous. They're breaking all regulative principles and everything. But his thought was that if these people they're so popular in a negative way. Jagai Madai story, I'm sure everybody's heard that. They are so popular in a negative way that everybody is so fearsome of them. Everybody in the town knows them. So, let me just, try my best to make them Krishna conscious, like that. Let me just try. That's how our attitude should be. Like Lord Nityananda. Let us just give this to these people. Okay, they're drinking. they're smoking, they are having illicit relationship, they are eating meat, they are what else is there, all those four regulations which are the pillars of our sinful life: meat eating, intoxication, illicit relation, gambling. They're doing so much of gambling. I mean, they're not satisfied with whatever they have. They want to keep multiplying their money more and more, because they're so insecure. So, let me just give it to him. And once he becomes Krishna conscious, Jagai Madai, the today's terrorists are like that, then what will happen is people will wonder, oh, what has happened if they became devotees. So we should also, become devotees. So that's why he told him, no, 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 no. Lord Chaitanya came. He says, no, do not this thing, but please give them the diksha. Give them the diksha. So Lord Chaitanya agreed. Lord is very humble. Lord agrees. It's like Lord is very protective about his devotees, but at the same time, when we hear the Damodar Lila, I'm just coming in the middle with that because I don't know how much I will be able to talk about Damodar Lila. In the Damodar Lila also, those two trees were made to stand there because Naradji had put them there because they were naked. The Nalakuvera and Manigriva, they were like naked and enjoying. They had so much wealth. And with the ladies, people, when they get a lot of money, then they resort to intoxication and other things because, they feel that we want more enjoyment, more enjoyment. So they feel that more enjoyment is an intoxication. More and more should come in a mode of passion. So, they were enjoying, and the ladies covered themselves up when they saw Naradji, but these men didn't cover. And they were like, standing there like that. And Srila Prabhupada has mentioned that if you don't cover your body, you become a tree. So he says, I have to do something about them. So although Naradji gave a punishment to both of them in the Damodar Leela, and he placed them as trees in the Angan, in the courtyard of Krishna, but that was a blessing because anything connected to Krishna consciousness is always very pleasurable. So these two trees were standing there as a punishment that they were not wearing clothes, and trees don't wear clothes. And Naradji, who was a pure devotee, we talk about pure devotee, he knew that Krishna will take care of them henceforth. Let me just put them there, and then Krishna will take care. And that's what happened when Krishna was tied. Even while he was tied to the grinding motor, he was like not being tied by his mother, by the ropes, whatever condition he was. Still, in his mind, it was running that I have to deliver these two trees because my pure devotee Narada has said that, they need to be delivered because they went through their punishment by becoming trees. And they have gone through the atonement. And then, Krishna with the grinding motor came crawling, small little baby Krishna crawling. And then, just the grinding motor touched the thing and the whole tree fell down there. So, just like Krishna can lift the Govardhan hill with the pinky finger of the left hand. So, what is there for him to put two trees down? Nothing, And then these two devtas came and they folded their hands. They circumambulated Lord Damodar, baby Krishna. And then, they went for the other duties or whichever planet they were supposed to go by Krishna's mercy. So like that. So basically, the idea is that, like Lord is very merciful. So coming back to Lord Chaitanya's, being merciful, he gave them Diksha, Jagai Madai, gave them Diksha. And when they got the Diksha, they were like, for a split seconds, Lord Chaitanya's body became black because they had all these anarthas, They were not chanting the Lord's name. They were karmi people. They were enjoying life. And when the body became black for a split second, of course, it's Lord, Lord, then Lord became okay again. And then they both, folded hands said that only one thing Lord Chaitanya requested them, that please do not go back to your old habits. And then, told them to take the four regulations, to follow the four regulations: no illicit relation, no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling. And then also told them to chant the Lord's name. And then once they started chanting, everybody in the community was so amazed that these people who had created so much of havoc, that's why this story is very popular. Because when we hear of other stories like, Ravan or Kamsa, they just came and they were just killed by Krishna, But this Jagai Madai story is so popular in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that they were actually transformed by the holy name, by the holy name given by Lord Chaitanya. Now, similarly, the holy name came to USA with the blessings and kripa of Srila Prabhupada ji. He also came, and he just came to Boston, and then he came to New York, and there he was all alone, such an old age, and he was sitting under this tree which is called Prabhupada tree. It is in this thing close to Brooklyn, New York. One should go and visit the tree and pay our obeisances to that tree, because because from that tree, Prabhupada tree, where Prabhupada sat down and did kirtan, so many people, that was like the start of the Hare Krishna movement, basically in that area. And so many people now, there are so many centers, and so many people became but in doing all this also, Prabhupada was always very, very surrendered to his guru, very surrendered to Krishna. And when he came also, he said that, please help me so I can execute my guru's order. He was praying to Krishna. So we can always pray to Krishna, our Guru Maharaj, that help me to spread this movement. And that's what Srila Prabhupada did. And now, we are so fortunate that we are able to chant. And because I remember, just talking about a little bit about my experience, I was not chanting the Lord's name, but I met devotees. And when I met devotees, they were chanting on the beads, and they were also doing like not simultaneously, it's not possible, but they were doing some kirtan. And then when the kirtan stopped, I noticed that they were chanting on the beats then. They didn't let the kirtan go by, because I saw them in like a India Fest. There were a lot of people, a lot of, people roaming around, chit-chatting, mode of passion, and all that was going on in that area where saw the devotees. And I was so amazed to see them. I felt like they are glowing so much. I felt they don't belong to this world.
We lost you, Mataji.
Sorry. Can you hear me? Hare Krishna.
Hello?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Mataji, can you hear?
Is it
Geeta Mataji, can you hear?
Yeah, now I can hear, Mataji. I don't know, it's my connection or yours.
Okay.
It was...
Sorry about that.
No.
Yeah. So basically, how this chanting is like so purifying, that even when you see devotees, you meet them, they are not ordinary people of the world, because they are connected to Krishna through this holy process of chanting the Lord's name. It's very, very, I mean, we are so fortunate that just like Jagai Madhai got their, they became purified through Lord Chaitanya. Similarly, we are in a Guru Parampara. In the Guru Parampara, Srila Prabhupada came here following the instructions of his Guru Maharaj, and he's giving this, holy name to our Guru Maharajas. There's so many Guru Maharajas now in ISKCON, and and through them we, as their disciples. So Prabhupada is just like a grandfather, and this parampara is going on, and whatever condition of life we are involved in something, or maybe we have not remembered Krishna because we were involved with something outside, or some meeting, or some work, or anything. But when we pick up our bead bags and start chanting, we feel so relieved. It's like somebody gave us like water, and we are thirsty. So that kind of feeling comes to us when we chant the Lord's name. Of course, the level is different for everyone, but you feel, okay, I want to chant my rounds, because I want to connect to Krishna. I want to remember Krishna. I want to be with Krishna. The only way to do is through chanting of the holy name, which is given to us by Srila Prabhupada and through our Guru Maharajas and, other devotees. And it's not necessary that, sometimes there are, disciples of Prabhupada who have given us the mantra, so they are a Shiksha Guru, so they are no less to us. They are equally important to us in our life, because sometimes, people will say like Prabhupada is there and Prabhupada disciple are there, but what about the other devotees? Maybe they're not very pure devotees. But Lord Chaitanya said anybody who chants the Lord names, he's a pure devotee. And little bit I wanted to say about the 4 regulations also. I like to talk about that they are actually the pillars of freedom. you know, because one line I will say, if you don't take intoxication, like in the morning, everybody wants tea. Well, somehow I'm addicted more to have milk in the morning, warm milk. I like to take even at night a small cup in morning. So that's like my tea. But people who don't get tea or something, they get so headache, and some similarly for intoxication. Even workplaces, people continuously have coffee. So basically, what has happened is the body becomes slave to intoxication. It becomes like again and again you go to the kitchen to get some coffee, or and nicotine or whatever they call that. People take drugs too. So devotees are free from all this. They don't need to. There's one Mataji in a temple. She maybe I can find out if anybody wants, and they're trying to leave their habit of having tea. There is a tea, of masala tea, which does not have actually. It is made from a lot of spices, and you just heat it in the water, and you just make it like tea, and you put some milk in it, and it's like a herbal tea. It's called herbal tea, but it doesn't have that. The chai patti, which is again very addictive, and it is intoxicating tea. So one or two home programs Mataji had made in like a thermos and got for all of us. And she said, we're all having herbal tea and it doesn't have the caffeine or whatever. And we just loved it. It was so nice. So yeah, so we feel free. We're not addicted to this. And there are alternatives too, like even in eating habits, some people, they like to have, say, boiled egg. But if we have avocado, which is quite similar to boiled egg, and it's more healthy, there's no cholesterol and other things involved. And, I mean, avocado is like a king of the fruits. So there are alternatives to, even people who eat meat, if they eat Nutri-Nugget, or if they have soya products, or if they can have paneer, all this has the rich protein, and one can fulfill the desire if we are addicted to meat. So there is always an alternative, vegetarian alternative, which Krishna has given us. Then coming to the second one is illicit relationship. I mean, they say that in the intoxication, what happens is we are like we don't do any austerity in life. We are so dependent on all these things. In the illicit relationship, it is more involved about uncleanliness. Are you unclean? Because a girl is supposed to live with her father, then supposed to live with her husband and maybe grown-up son or son-in-law, like that. A girl needs to be protected and stay under the shelter. But then what happens in today's world, ladies become independent, and once they're independent, they are earning their own income, and then they don't care much. And then they meet their husband in the workplace, they meet another person, and they become unclean, they become unchaste. So it's like a condition where we are not clean at heart, because our mind is like, oh, I'm earning, I can do anything, I can have a boyfriend, I can have a husband. So all those things go on, it makes us unclean, we get away from spirituality. My Guru Maharaj said one of the important reasons is that we should be very chaste, for the ladies especially, is because then we can concentrate on our husband, our family. And even if you're unmarried, we want to marry, then we tell our parents, so and so boy we want to marry, or find a boy for me. It's a very clear-cut method, and then you move from there. Krishna likes that. So that's like unclean thing. And then, of course, meat eating is like there's no mercy. Because, like yesterday also we discussed about the fact that there's a person who eats meat, but is a very nice natured, very simple, very, they're very, like some people who are not eating meat, and you find their nature like very rowdy, and you ask them, are you vegetarian? So then they said yes. But Prabhupada said even monkeys are vegetarian. And you know what they do in Vrindavan? They come, I don't want to criticize the monkeys of Vrindavan, but generally monkeys are known to come and snatch give you some trouble, snatch your bag, snatch your specs, and you have to hide everything and all that. So it's a monkey mind going around. They're vegetarian, but it's like that. That's why Prabhupada said we have to be prasaditarian. From
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. So they have to be prasaditarian. Prasaditarian meaning that we eat everything we offer everything to Krishna, because once that prasad goes inside of us, then Krishna is going inside of us. And once Krishna is inside of us, then he will not let us divert our mind to, not follow the regulations. So coming back to the meat eating, so everything is good. but they are in the mode of ignorance because they're not realizing what is coming to them on the plate. It's like, whatever is going inside, we are what we eat. So we eating, say, chicken or whatever, or fish, is on the plate. When that goes inside of us, then that particular food which goes inside of us, I'm not very sure about this. If I remember, I will tell that one portion goes for making the blood, the other portion goes to waste, and the third portion has an effect on the mind. It has effect on the mind. So we discussed about garlic, how some of the pilots, they are advised not to take heavy garlic meal. Of course, people eat onion, garlic in both meals or 3 meals, but they're advised not to because it has an effect on the mind. So similarly, the meat we eat, some people, you'll find them very fearsome and very negative. They will always say like, oh, this, yeah, that. Like I remember when, some of the people I know, they eat meat when hurricane and all came. So, they were like collecting so much stuff and, no, and so much was going on here in Florida. And then the hurricane, nothing even happened after that. But there was so much fear in their mind that they were so much engrossed in fear that I'm sure they won't even remember Krishna because there's so much of fear, the me, my, I fear situation was there in them that, they were not praying to Krishna, that, uh, that fear came to them because some of them were eating meat. And that consciousness, they say it's like a cremation ground. Like Prabhupada ji said that when there's a bird sitting there, if there's a bird in your backyard or somewhere, it is continuously looking here and there. And little bit it'll hear, it'll run away. It's in fear all the time. Or quickly, you see these animals. Animals are the best example of being fearful. But the good thing is that the animals don't get karma. Because if the animals eat, say, worms and other things, or flies, they don't get karma because but we at human beings do. But if we also eat like birds and animals, then we'll be fearsome, we'll have karma, and so many things will go on in our life, unnecessary. Already we are in a boat of dukhalaya masastakam, where there is birth very troublesome, death troublesome, old age. I'm not there yet, but I see my mother, she lifts something and then she has a back pain for how many days, and then she goes to the doctor, and then birth, death, old age, and then disease. Disease is there. I mean, people are having cancer, heart attack, brain hemorrhage, and we don't know. I mean, all kinds of diseases are there. So we're already living in this pool of like miseries, and then there are 3 more, which is Adi Bhautik, Adi Devik, and Adhyatmik. Okay, I got it this time. So basically, first is coming from the mother nature, like hurricanes, all these things, earthquake, all these things are coming, Then the second one is from our own mind. A mind, if it's not connected to Krishna, it can become our enemy. So, with our mind, we do all kinds of things that we, and the third one is through other living entities, like we got corona or, things like that, and diseases and malaria. So other living entities are biting us and we fall sick or, things like that. So I'm not sure about the third one, but I'm sure about coming from, one is the hurricane one, and one is, and please correct me if I'm wrong, one is coming through hurricanes, and I don't know the specific name connected to it. Adi Devik, Adi Bhautik, Adi the Adhyatmik. So I think Adhyatmik is from the mind, because our mind is also, doing things which creates problem for us. Later we realize, oh, I made a mistake. I did this, because so all those things are there. So coming back to the we were talking about the illicit relationship, intoxication we did, and then gambling is there, the last one. So yeah, no, like we were doing meat eating. Sorry, I'm sorry. Meat eating is basically like, your mind is, you are what you eat. So, you become like animalistic thinking comes in you, because that animal has gone inside of you. It'll give you blood. It'll give you the, I mean, I just wonder sometimes, like people say that, I'm not getting protein, so I need to have egg or but there is so many examples of elephant that's a vegetarian. Then there was example I'd seen on the Facebook about this, this heavy lifter. He was also vegetarian. In India, there was this person who was a weightlifter, but he only ate vegetarian food. So he had a nice heavy body, and he used to do, like Dara Singh or something. His name was like that. And people have done research on that. They found out that a lot of people who are vegetarians are actually, so for basically, one myth is there that when you go to a doctor here, even in India, they will tell you that, you need to have protein, or you need to have some fish, those tablets, or, you need to have for protein, you need to take meat. But, that is not a fact actually. It's a big myth, I feel, because uh, okay, the flesh of an animal might have protein, but there are so many other sources. Without killing, we can have meat, I mean, sorry, we can have meat free diet. There are so many other sources, there's vegetables, fruits, dals, like paneer, so many products from the milk. So, and I mean, I know myself that I can tell you from my own example that two things I used to face when I was not a vegetarian. One is I used to get severe headaches because of constipation and things like that. And the other was that, I was always getting these bad dreams, always, I was very restless nights I used to have. But then when years back, I mean, years back, 2000, I don't know, I don't remember, from 1997 probably, when I became vegetarian, I mean, both my problem got solved. I was not getting bad dreams at the same time. I got over the constipation problem and with the headache and all that. I don't get that now because I'm eating vegetarian food and easy to digest. And that reminded me that one time I was traveling to California, and my family there were eating meat, but we visited them. And so I said, like, I kept a separate, told them to keep a separate pot. And the Mataji there has had a separate pot for, vegetarian, cooking. She used to do like Navratre. She used to follow my sister-in-law. So I was cooking in that. And then everybody said, okay, we will just eat that only. So, cooking dal, sabji, roti, papad, dahi, so much we can cook. And I was feeding them prasadam. I was offering there in front of Krishna's picture. And they all said that we never ever went to the bathroom every day. But now, ever since we've been having vegetarian food, because the thing is, scientifically also, our intestines are very, very long compared to the lion and all that tiger, all these meat eating animals, and their intestines are very small. They eat meat and flesh, and quickly it comes out in feces. But in the human form, the way it is, that it's a very long intestine, because that's how we are made. And all the vegetarian food that we eat, slowly it gets digested, takes 24 hours, and we excrete out. So from the scientific point of view also, putting meat in the system or egg or whatever, it's very hard on our intestines to digest that, because it's already somebody's flesh, and it's easy for us. So all these things, when I became vegetarian, I was so happy, and I was thinking, that time I didn't think like that. It's Krishna's arrangement, because I was praying to all the devatas. But yes, now I feel I can go back to my past and think, yeah, Krishna's hand was there, devotees' hands were there. So yeah, so meat eating, we're relieved from that. We're not slaves of our tongue. So everything we can substitute and get the taste. We can frequently make paneer. We can frequently eat soya products, Nutrinuggets. So many things are there which perfectly substitute, the meat eating. And the last is talking about the gambling thing. People, they have money, and then they travel to Las Vegas in America, especially here, and then they play these games, and then they multiply the money. Sometimes they lose the money, but they don't care about that, the losing the money. But when the money multiplies, then they get addicted to it. People buy lotto tickets, you know because they feel that, okay, we'll buy a lotto ticket, we'll get a lot of money, so we'll pay off our home, we will pay off our car if it's on mortgage, the house and car on loan, and other things. But they're not realizing that, all the time their mind is thinking about money, how we can get more money through this lotto ticket or whatever like that. But what happens is, when we are thinking about money and trying to pay off this and that, we are actually living in our future. We are not living in our present. In our present, we should have a heart of gratitude that, whatever the condition is, okay, our house is not paid off or whatever is there, at least we have food on the plate. We have a bed to sleep. We have shelter, roti, kapda, makan. We have all these things, roti, kapda, makan, like we have clothes to wear. We have a roof, we have some money saving in the bank. So we should be very thankful for that and stay contented and not go in the future. Even Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that, you don't go in the future, live in the present, And past is good, because past, past is like a learning process we have gone through. And, like, so, for example, some of the devotees will say that, Suppose for some reason, you go and eat in the restaurant and, eat vegetarian food also, but it's not offered. And then you tell yourself, well, I should stop eating. I should not eat in the restaurant. I should eat in devotee's home, or I should eat in the temple, or I should cook at home, simple cook at home and offer to Krishna with the tulsi leaf. But what happens is that you overlook this and again start going to the restaurant, and eating food there, which is cooked by karmi people or a person who's coming there, doing a 10-hour or 15 hours job. And he's basically, stressed out how to make ends meet with our family, and, and all that with that thought process, he's cooking, and when you're cooking with that thought process, those thoughts will go into the cooking. And when that food comes to us, we are eating that, then that thought process will come to us through the food we're eating. That's why Prabhupada ji stressed that only eat from the hands of devotees who have committed to Krishna consciousness, who have committed to the regulative principles. Very, very important to eat from as much as possible. Sometimes, yes, in one of the classes where I read, Prabhupada said that if, suppose our near and dear ones, especially for a female, like a lady who's married, husband is very important, mother, father are very important, even for, so if sometimes they are not practicing, but if they're in a loving way cooking for us without onion garlic, we should take it. We should honor that because they are our well-wishers, So any food that is cooked by the mother and any food cooked by the restaurant, there's a lot of difference because the mother wants to make it less oily, less sugar, healthy, but a restaurant guy will not do that. So, we have to understand from whose hands. It's not like, our mother is not a devotee, we won't have from them. We can have, they are well-wishers. But from restaurants, so suppose then you go back into old ways and no, I'm going to eat from the restaurants, So that's not the right thing to do. Once we commit to something, we should follow that because that's going to help us in a spiritual life. Material life is going on nicely, with all these problems, and people are saying, one time Srila Prabhupada mentioned, he went to a hospital, this person was lying down with his leg up and he was on these ventilators and all that. And Prabhupada said, how are you doing? He says, I'm doing good. So people don't know that what is good. They don't know like what a miserable condition they are living in, Only Prabhupada can tell us what is good, what is not good. Only Krishna consciousness can tell us, what is good, what is not good, what is happiness. Prabhupada said, chant and be happy. He never said, be happy and then chant. So chant and be happy, that simple sentence, whenever you're unhappy, pick up your beads, chant and be happy. Why are we doing that? Prabhupada's told us. Very simple, And so we can be happy because we're connected to Krishna through the holy name. So that's one thing. So 4 regulations, I just briefly went through that. And so when we don't do gambling, again, we feel free, because we are contented in a situation. Yes, if we are short of money, we can do another dignified job, which does not connect to these 4 things, like devotees will probably never take up a job in Walmart and other places because, when you have to check out, you have to touch the meat in your hand or any dealing, they will do a job like say Home Depot or some other place, fabric shop or somewhere else. Some of the devotees have even sold their gas stations and all once they came into Krishna consciousness because, some of the gas stations are selling intoxication, meat. So, they don't want to do that because once, we have to practice what we preach. We can't say, okay, we are not taking intoxication, cigarette or meat, but we will go and stand in our shop, do business and sell. No, we cannot do that. We have to practice what we preach. So that's very important. So these 4 regulations are actually, are getting us free. It's giving us freedom, freedom from entanglement. So similarly, it is said in this verse which we read that the ultimate conclusion is that one must surrender to the principles of Bhakti Yoga, for then one will gradually attain liberation. No other method of liberation from the material struggle is at all possible. There's no other method of liberation from the material struggle is at all possible. So we have to make sure that we understand this. That's why, like, some of us do follow other, sampradaya, Ramanuja. There are many others, like Gita Mataji was mentioning. Ipshita Mataji was also mentioning to me, we have your own guru and this thing. I mean, I would say completely follow that. I have my mother and my mother's sister is also like my mother only. I have 2 mothers. I have Masi, I'm very close to her and more close to my Masi actually. So she's been worshipping devtas, and now she chants the Lord name. And she says, I cannot leave my worship to Lord Shiva, Ganesh, She sits and does his puja, and then she knows the mantra to chant for all the devtas. So I tell her, continue. It's very nice you're doing that, but just add Krishna consciousness. Now, when the Krishna consciousness got added to her life, she wants to do Damodarastakam. She wants to offer, ghee lamp. She wants to chant the Lord's name. And then she's also doing devta worship. She wants to also, have her granddaughters do the diya, And then she likes to go to festivals to the ISKCON temple because they celebrate very nicely. They have a whole compact kirtan, then there is always association, and then there is a class. We hear something, there's prasadam. So much is there. So she loves it there, but she still continues, So we have to continue with whatever we're doing. But this process, which is like Prabhupada said, like Krishna consciousness is not like a shop where there is fake jewelry. It is diamond shop, where everybody cannot buy diamonds, so it's like a diamond shop. That's what Krishna consciousness is, which is a gift come to us because of our, good karma. And so we have to make sure that, we keep this as a part of our life, keep it added to whatever we are doing. So that's very important. And I was going to look at the time. It's almost 8:25. And I wanted to see if anybody else wanted to add, because it's a nice purport for us to take on Monday. And, there are a lot of other things written, which Mataji read. I was not able to fully concentrate because I was just wondering that my mind was going back to the past thinking, oh, we don't have a speaker today. So, how are we going to go about? So, my mind was wandering. So I was not able to really concentrate, but little bit I spoke, maybe, hopefully. And please forgive me if I spoke something wrong, because I tried to connect, whatever is there in my mind through little bit through the words, but I didn't do justice, I know, because there's a lot more, many points in this 21 verse, which we will continue on Monday. So anybody else has any comment, questions to add to this verse, which I have missed out?
Thank you, Mataji. You very, very good class, I must say. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. I wanted to hear from you, Mataji. But maybe next time that, when Mataji came to call, Jyoti Mataji, she said that to hear it's passive, but to give a class, my mind was recollecting so many things. And I was thinking, I'll forget. Even this Adi Bhautik, Adi Devik, Adhyatmik, I even cannot pronounce that. But I felt that, with all your blessings, like, I was somehow able to say some words which, were rightly said. Otherwise, in normal times, if I'm reading, and next time I said, okay, I've read this right now, or I heard this, let me recollect. I'm not able to. I have to go back and read the Sanskrit words again. So it's very, very important for all of us, I'm saying here. It's a small forum, and we can practice, because Prabhupada said, we have to repeat as it is like a parrot. So if you're able to do that, then you will retain that more with you. Then you will only, from only hearing. And, and a lot of devotees have also said that. So I just encourage all of you and pray for all of you that one day, if, we are having no speaker come in, then, somebody or other raises hand. Okay, one time, if Shita Mataji says, yes, Mataji, I will read and give a short summary. Or Garima Mataji, or Geeta Mataji, or Surinder Prabhu, I would love to hear from all of you and your realizations, and I'm so thankful to Everyday Chant, Harinam conference call, that some of the realizations I spoke, which are not indirectly connected, were because I've heard from here and they're stuck in my mind, and, I want to follow it, so it's very important for me. So I'm saying that for my purification. So yes, I would encourage all of you to, because there are a lot of times we have speakers who drop out last minute. And so in that case, I suggested to Mataji, Shamarasika Mataji, that she was, like, she gets stressed out a little bit. We don't have a speaker. She would text me. But any stress connected to Krishna consciousness is good stress. Any is a good stress. And actually, I will, I was sharing one, sometimes I shared some things with my family members, and I don't know whether it's there, but it's such a nice thought which came to me. It was in Hindi. Yeah. And there's a picture of Lord Chaitanya, and it says, Tum Krishna Chintan ki aadat dal lo. Tum Krishna Chintan ki aadat dal lo. कृष्णा तुम्हें चिंता की आदत से छुड़ाएगा. So, I'm sure everybody understands Hindi, right?
Yes.
अगर हम कृष्णा की चिंतन करेंगे तो जो हमारी चिंता है उससे कृष्णा हमारे को छोड़ देंगे. He will हमारी जो आदत है चिंता करने की, वो हमारी कृष्णा हमारे को वो आदत है चिंता करने की, वो हमारी आदत कृष्णा हमारे को छुड़ा देंगे वो आदत.
Right.
या तुम कृष्णा चिंतन की आदत डालो. We have to start worrying about Krishna, and then कृष्णा तुम्हें चिंता की आदत से छुड़ाएंगे. वो जो my child, this and that house, mortgage and so many things you're running. We have to go here, doctor's office, all that, he will remove it. Everything will go like a smooth boat,
Right. Like they say that when people say, now I don't have time for japa. So in our order, they say, you do japa, you will, so many problems that you have will get sorted on their own, that you'll have time, galore.
Wonderfully said, Mataji. So nice. I missed this point. Yeah. So many in fact, it's so nice to have association of devotees. No, you are such a wonderful devotee, because now you gave a very important point, that chant and be happy. That's all I said. But now you're saying that the problems we have through chanting will vanish.
Right. And you have a lot of free time then,
Why we will not chant?
Yeah.
I mean, this is like one, why we will not chant. In fact, with this line, I understand. I'm thinking from preaching point of view. If you meet someone and they say, I don't want to chant, he says, you ask them, do you have problems in your life? That yes, of course, we have this problem, grandchildren problem, this problem. You want to decrease the problem? Then you need to chant. If you don't want to decrease, don't chant.
Right.
And then one Prabhuji is there. His name is Radhesham Prabhu. He will tell that just chant one round, take 10 to 12 minutes, one round only, and one page of Bhagavad Gita, just one page, even if it has like, it's half a page, starting a new chapter, one page, something of the purport should be there in the page.
Right.
You read one page, 5 minutes, 10 minutes chanting, 15 minutes only, and do it every day for 10-15 days. But after 10-15 days, you think that no, I don't want to do this 10 minutes chanting. Don't do it. Don't do it ever. So he preaches like that.
Mataji, I've seen that when you start this, then when you don't do it, you miss it. Initially, you have to force yourself to do it. But after a while, it becomes so part of your routine that you miss it if you don't do it.
Yes. Actually, you're missing Krishna. Yeah, because what are we missing actually? We're missing the Maha Mantra. I'm sure, we are missing Krishna only, because even if we are saying the Maha Mantra, we're missing out the Hare, or we're not saying Krishna, we're saying Krishna. It's like Krishna is also name of Draupadi. Maybe we're not saying Hare properly, or then Ram is, Ram, like we're saying, like, not Rama. That the right pronunciation syllables are not coming. But still, I'm sure in whatever number of rounds we're doing, some must be coming. So that is what, gives us remembrance. Like some people will say, no, you say this, say it properly. We are not able to. We're not able to say the whole syllables. We should, I know. Probably will take 10 minutes and it'll take us 3 to 4 hours to chant 16 rounds. I'll be very frank. But then at least we're doing it, faster pace, sometimes leaving it. Doing is better than, thinking I have to do 3 hours and literally do like this, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now this is a slow pace. People do that. They take 3 to 4 hours doing 16 rounds or lesser. But normally my pace is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare. Sometimes I go Hare, then I'm like, okay, no, I didn't say this properly. Then I stay to the same beats and I say, no, I did only one Hare, and then I move to the other one. I have to say it again. So Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then I've done justice,
Right. Beautiful.
Yeah, and then I move to the next. So I sometimes stick to the same beat, or in the end, I'll do a couple of extra.
Yeah.
8. So I do my way, but I'm connected to Krishna. That is the main thing. And he's giving me remembrance. And when we don't do the rounds, when you said like this, definitely, Mataji, you will reach 16 rounds one day. Even if you're not doing today or you're doing, it's wonderful. What Prabhupada has given us. The Prabhupada Ashray means 16 rounds. So under Prabhupada Ashray means you have to take out 2 hours in the 24 hours for Krishna.
Right.
Prabhupada wants us. In this Kali Yuga, he wants us to do that. Once we do that, then we will be nicely connected to Krishna. If we do, even if we do one round is also good. If you're a starter, 8 is good, 4 is good, but you have to stick to it and do it properly, and then, stay happy like that way.
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji for mentioning that. So anybody else has comment, questions or anything? Otherwise we can...
So, like they say also in our Dhyan Lila, na, that when you do the Mahamantra, then like nowadays Damodar Lila is going on. So envision Lord Krishna in your heart and look at yourself outside. And you are opposite, and Krishna is in your heart, and you are praying to him in your heart. I mean, envision like that so that you bring him into your, heart.
Yes.
So that is, I mean, there's a different ways, but one of them, and sometimes because you need to keep changing, otherwise it gets too boring also, and it's nice to bring him into your heart.
Yes, Mata, you're absolutely right. And the best time of the day where we can bring Krishna to our heart is the time when we have no activity to do. Like, for example, after 9 a.m., now we almost touching 9, mode of passion sets in. And then the evening after 6, the modes of ignorance sets in. So that time so much has happened. And it's so hard to bring Krishna, think of Krishna as in your heart, or, bring him to your heart. But in the morning hours, Mataji, is possible. I'm just saying, but I'm not doing it every day. And the day I do it, I feel so light and so nice. I feel like, oh, I've won the battle today. Even if the worst situation comes, I hear the worst news, still I'm happy because I chanted, from say 4 to 6 or 5 to 7. And it's still a big struggle going on for me, Mataji. I need prayers
So how do you break your 16 rounds, Mataji? In the morning, how many do you do?
I try to do like 8 of them in the morning, but ideally I should do all. But then, there's a conference call coming in and other things, that I do. Like I heard right now, Ipshita Mataji, she's not on the call, but she was chanting. But, she might have to go somewhere and she doesn't have time or some appointment. So she's saying, oh, the class is going on, but still have to finish by right. So we have to prioritize actually chanting. The moment it's stuck in our head that we have to prioritize chanting, and we have to do it before, like nowadays, sunrise is 6:30. I'm talking about Eastern USA time.
Right.
So frankly, and earlier it was 7:30 before the time changed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So ideally, 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, we should finish all the rounds before the first rays of the sun comes. There was one devotee, he said, I have so much of anxiety when the sun comes out. So one Prabhuji asked him, how come you have anxiety when sun comes out? Sun is like bringing light everywhere, and otherwise dark you cannot see. The mode of passion is going to set in.
Right.
And the devotees will come and the sun is out. They'll say, this service, that service, this we have to do. Prabhuji, tell us about this. What do we have to do? Where are we going for book distribution? What are we doing? And he says, I try. So he tried to finish his round when the dark is there and everybody's chanting, doing Mangal Aarti. So all this we hear from these pure devotees, but it's so hard still, Mataji, in our life. We have a late, like today we have the Amar program. We will come by 12:31, I can assure you. And then it's so hard to get up. It's sleep at 1 o'clock. And there are some devotees I've seen, they just get up and go from the program because they have to sleep by 10 o'clock. Doesn't happen with me, Mataji. I come late.
So you're following Krishna consciousness, and you also go to the Gurudwara. So today, Gurpurab, you'll be going there. So you're doing a lot actually, Mataji.
Mataji, I go to Gurpurab and Gurudwara. If my husband has gone to work today, sometimes he gets very tired. So he does part at home. And we also do like his family trend is that we put the diya on the Diwali day. We lit a diya at night, or even on the Gurpurab day. We put a diya with the sesame or ghee or whatever, and we lit it in front of Babaji. I have Babaji next to like a picture on the wall. So we do that, and then my husband does the part, and then I tell him there's a home program. He says, you carry on. But normally the Gurpurab program is on Sunday. They do here.
Yes.
Then we might go on Sunday and do little puja at home, but I'm not going today to Gurudwara, I know for sure. Because my husband's like, we'll go on Sunday and then he wants to have langar there. But then that also, sometimes my husband goes, I follow my husband there, Mataji. If he goes, I go, like that.
Yes.
Like last Gurpurab he went, year before he didn't go. So we also didn't go. But my Krishna consciousness, my ISKCON programs, that he knows. And he'll always tell me, I'm happy in your happiness. You want to go to the program, please go and stay happy. I said, okay.
Nice.
So we have a program today, and he knows that last day of Kartik is there. So we are going to be having, there are families who host program in their home. and they have an open program. They invite the devotees and we all go there and it's nice. We sit in the living room, down, everybody sits on the floor, because it's not like, if we sit on the couch, then 10 to 12 people only come. They put nice mats on the floor and everybody sits on the floor, and the person who gives a class or person who's doing the kirtan is sitting on another pedestal, and the person who's giving class sits on a vyasasana they make at home. The devotees who are hosting it, we have a nice program. And
So
then,
I'm sure in ISKCON Potomac, they must be having DC program today, right?
yes, you can, the temple will tell you, because, we get WhatsApp messages, and there are some programs which happen on Saturday too. They won't happen tomorrow because Kartik is over, but last Saturday I had heard, but then it was not open program. They just few devotees to come.
So I went to ISKCON 2-3 days ago, and they were having, like, people were lighting diyas over there,
Yeah. That's happening in temple every day. But some people want that devotees should come and do puja in their home. It's called Damodar home puja.
Right. Yeah, Shamika Mataji told me that they come home also. Yeah.
Yes. Actually, this trend of Damodar home puja started from Dubai. In Dubai, there's no temples, right? So there was this Prabhuji called Gauranga Prasad Prabhu. He's from South India, Hyderabad. And he lived in Dubai for a long time. And then he came to Orlando, Florida. And he says, we can have this program, not because we can't have temple here. In America, we have free country. We have our own temple. Everything is good. Unlike Dubai, right? But the point is that we are having a home program because it's a very nice way. Because what happens is, see, there's a person who's hosting, he's say like IT person, right? Now he's got friends in his office who he's been telling to come to temple, they're not coming. Or some other thing. So now they say, oh, come over. All the kids are there. They'll be all in one room. So this is a good way where people connect, and they come to your program with a gift, because they know the host. But those same people, they will not come to temple. Yeah. So, so he started this trend, and we've been carrying on with that trend from Dubai ISKCON in our Orlando area.
Very nice.
Yeah.
But now Dubai has a very big temple, Mataji.
Okay. I think there is echoing because there are two. Okay, now it's fine.
Yeah, I'm checking out from my other phone. Yeah,
that's echoing was coming. So we didn't Partha Prabhu today. He would have enriched us with his thoughts, and hopefully, I don't know what date is there on Mataji should be joining, because I texted her that I'm going to India because I want her to be, I think, So 18th, Mataji will definitely be there on the call. Shamarashika Mataji, because they're coming back on 17th. And I told her, and Mataji, I booked my ticket in such a way that, I wanted the Damodar month, and I knew Mataji is coming on the 18th. So then 17th, Sunday. So, she can take over for some time. I mean, I can do the same recording, everything from there also, if she allows me, or if, they want me to, because they are I consider them as my senior, Mataji, both of them. So I'm just like there and you all servant. So I'm just doing whatever I can do, little bit.
Shamrasika Mataji is pretty senior, I'm told, right?
Yeah, she's very senior, very consistent, and and I'm just like serving her by being here. And I told her that the first thing I asked her, Mataji, when are you coming back? 70? Oh, okay, Mataji, I will not go before that. Just make her happy, and because because of her we are hearing all this, so we have to keep our seniors and Shiksha happy and serve them in whatever way.
So Mataji, if I may ask you, are you a Vaishnava?
No, Mataji, I'm not Vaishnava. I come from a background where my family, both sides, my firstly, I mean, not Vaishnava background, Mataji, at all.
So who is a Vaishnava? What is it?
Vaishnava is a family, like Prabhupada came from a Vaishnava family, in which, for many generations, they don't eat onion garlic. They've been offering food. They have deities at home. And, even if the doctor says, like, doctor told Prabhupada that his father, that give him chicken soup. And immediately his father picked him up and took him and kept him in front of the altar. He was like 104 temperature. He says, you give chicken soup, you get protein and good. And he immediately lifted him and put him in front of the deities and said that, one of our prayers should always be like that Krishna, if you so desire, that if you want that my son should, go away, or pass away, then fine. But if you so desire, then please make him okay, so we can see him healthy. So, all these values they all carry. And I mean, I have seen that some of it from my grandparents, but my parents were both working. And even my husband's side, it's like little bit, it's a materialistic life like that. So,
So who is a Vaishnava then, Mataji, in our group?
Vaishnava Mataji, say, I mean, if you're saying from the birth, then none of us are there. Because most of us were eating meat before we came in, and we were not vegetarian, and Vaishnava will be like mostly, for example, if there is a devotee couple and they are following everything, and they give birth to a girl or a boy, and right from the first day she's hearing kirtan, she's following the 4 regulations, then she'll be called a Vaishnava and coming from a Vaishnava background.
So then that will be very, very high level, right? I mean,
yes,
even the monks are not. A lot of them were eating meat earlier.
Yes, like Prabhupada said that above the people say we are Brahmanas. We are coming from Brahman family. They talk like that, but then they don't follow the 4 regulations only with that. So Prabhupada ji said above the Brahman, I made Vaishnavas. When he went to USA, he made them Vaishnavas. Of course, they have the Brahmanical qualities. They were there's so many, I don't know, I'm not on top of my head, I cannot say about the Brahmanical qualities, but a Vaishnava is the person who's following the, like Sanatan Dharma.
No, so what about Radhanath Swamiji? Is he a Vaishnava?
Yes, Mataji.
He was an American before, right? Born in an American family. I'm sure they ate meat.
Yes, you're right. But in our culture, Lord Chaitanya said, we just read recently, Mataji, if you're coming from a family of a background of Chandala, dog eating, okay, but you're chanting the Lord's name, then you are a devotee. But if you're coming from a family where everybody's eating vegetarian food and all that, but you're not chanting the Lord's name, or rich family, then you're no better than, a Vaishnava coming from a Chandala family. Chandala means meat eating. So Radhanath Maharaj, he was coming from the background, but then he had a zest in his heart to find God. And he traveled by foot and went, just like Prabhupada.
No, so but the description you gave from generation, then that doesn't stand good, no?
So Mataji, that maybe I made a mistake. I'm sorry about that. But the point is that the person can become a Vaishnava by his acharan, by his following. That's what it is.
So Shyam Rasika Mataji also is turned vegetarian. She has her husband and her daughter now into it. So they should be called
all Vaishnavas, Mataji, now. They are all Vaishnavas because they have started following.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, and see, this is the flexibility. Anyone who's breaking 4 regulations, eating meat, all that, it's okay, whatever they're doing. Lord Chaitanya said, practice from whatever situation you are in. You are in a family where everyday meat is cooked, you can still practice. You stop eating meat, you stop doing that. But then if you're a wife and you have to serve and serve to your husband as a service, you do it. As a service, you cook the meat for your husband. Do not stop that, Mataji, because, then you'll become like a fanatic. And you stop your service towards
so more important is japa, right? Krishna's name.
Yes.
And because these even a butcher can become basically a Vaishnava if he just sells meat but does not eat it and takes God's name. I'm just being hypothetical.
Yeah, actually, there's a butcher, killing and all that, and he suddenly one day he starts chanting, and with chanting will purify him, and he will leave that job of doing butcher anymore. He will not be able to do it. Just like we cannot forget Krishna. We don't chant, we remember, we didn't do the rounds. Or, when we go somewhere, people are having tea, coffee, we don't want to have that. We don't want to be involved in illicit relationship. We don't want to take intoxication. So all these things have come in us because we started chanting. While we were chanting, we were breaking all the 4 regulations.
So actually, that shows us chanting is working very well.
Yes. You lose your interest in onion garlic.
I don't feel like eating non-veg. I'm not happy, eating.
Yeah. You lose your interest even in onion garlic gradually, Mataji. You lose your.
Yes.
So there's a very famous saying that some people come to the temple and they say, don't have Krishna Prasad there. There is something in it which is going to leave you, which is going to, you will not be able to enjoy the world. because people, what they think that the world is for enjoyment,
Yeah.
intoxication and this and that. But when they eat prasadam, that prasadam will convert them. It will internally work. So some people will not take prasadam because they think their enjoyment is limited to a frog in a well.
Right.
A little well in the frog is jumping around here and there. It does not know next to it is a big ocean there.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah. So, they will not take prasad, though there's something, like we will become vairagya or whatever. But no, we're not becoming vairagya. We're living in household. We're taking care of all our family members, everything we're doing. We are just centering our house with Krishna in the center. That's all we're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah. And yes, you're right. Any person can become a Vaishnava, provided he follows. And even if he doesn't follow, then he should not go back to the old habits. He's eating meat. He's trying to become Vaishnava. Then again, he starts eating meat. Then that's not going to work.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. You have to stick and gradually come to it. I gave you an example yesterday how I was made sabji with onion and that, and I thought that like I'm not getting the original taste of bindi. But then I got it when I made, and I said, definitely I can have bindi without onion. Because, onion garlic is coming in my way that I can't have prasadam because of that.
Right. So you cook with gobi, na? But pata gobi instead of onions.
Yes, we can add that. Yeah, we can add, but like in the sense that sometimes we make. When Mataji had made very nice. What was it that needed? She had made these vada. Vada. Sometimes the vada, the urad dal vada, which they fry. They have onion and all masala in it. She just chopped the cabbage and put it in there. And, when you're eating, the long strand came in the mouth like onion, And
so the best example is Shamrasika Mataji does catering with the non-onion food,
Yes, Mataji, devotees are very intelligent. Mataji is so intelligent. I'm sure, it's because, some people will say, no, we'll do catering and all. We start catering business. We can't, our thing will not be sold because, onion garlic to chahiye. Everybody likes the taste.
Right.
But the thing is, are you giving prasadam to people? Are you bothered about people's taste, or you want to liberate them by giving them?
Right.
You give them prasadam. That is more important. Then Krishna will be happy with you.
No, I ate her food, very tasty.
Yeah. She's very good cook, Mataji. She makes professionally. I mean, everything like.
Yes.
Yeah. That's nice. I'm so happy that you connected to her. I don't have the fortune to connect to. I only connect to her through this, or once in a while we talk because mostly I'm connected. I mean, physically I can't meet her every time. I met her twice in my life. Yeah, twice I've met her. Yeah. One time they all came over here to Orlando, Mataji, to my place.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they have visited us, and they were going. That time the daughter was small. They went to Disney and then other places. They had 1 or 2 home programs also. And then one time I met them in New Vrindavan. I had come to New Vrindavan in West Virginia. So Mataji had booked for us the cottage there. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, because Prabhuji was the priest there, no?
Yeah. And then they made all arrangements for us, Mataji. Very nice it was.
So Shamrasika Mataji invited us to her house also. For some Prabhuji came when we went there. We met her in New Vrindavan.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I know their hearts are connected to New Vrindavan. They love it there.
They love it, yeah. They go there very often.
Yes. All Vaishnavas and, following everyone. And then also the situations that then in family, everybody is not a Vaishnava, right? Some people are eating meat, some people are eating onion, garlic. But like Prahlad Maharaj's story, think of it. His father was eating meat and intoxication, but then he was not. So in that condition also, if we stay strong, and then what we need is our association of devotees. If we have association of devotees in our life, and even if to come back to home where everybody's not following, you can still maintain that being a Vaishnava at home, because you got your battery is getting charged by association of devotees. So there are ways and means, but yeah, if you don't associate with devotees at home, also you don't have devotees, then there are chances that Maya will catch you and you'll drift away and you'll say, no, it's okay, this life is good, let me eat onion garlic, let me have smoke or whatever I want to do, free will, whatever they call. And actually we don't have a free will, because Krishna's will is the main will. He's also called Rishikesha. He's the the head house of our senses. So why we would cook something and we have to give to Rishikesha. Rishikesha is Like he's a controller of all our senses, Bhagavad Gita says. So when we give it to Krishna, we are satisfying his senses. And then he takes the bhoga and makes prasad, and then we have it. Then once he has it, he is satisfied and he makes it prasad, and we have it. So we are happy, you know. Like Prabhupada gave an example of like a very rich man, and he was traveling in a big Mercedes, you know, way back Mercedes. Now there are many more cars, but Mercedes was, now also Mercedes is good, but earlier time Mercedes was like, you know, a big thing in India, even here. I don't know about here, but India. So, you know, this rich man was traveling, but his driver was working under him. So, you know, he was his servant or driver. But wherever the rich man, he sat in the AC car. Then, you know, he went and then wherever Prabhupada, I would say you know, like if this rich man went, he would say, oh, you know, did my driver get the food which I'm eating? You know, so once we become servant of Krishna, then, you know, we also enjoy the same way Krishna is enjoying. You know, our happiness is connected to Krishna because, you know, we take Krishna Prasad, we are connected to devotees, you know. So this is what Prabhupada, this is, I'm not saying it perfectly right, but Prabhupada has said that. Example of a driver and a rich man. Like that. So, but richness and poorness is all in this material world, Mataji. Actually, you know, anybody who is, you know, connected to Krishna is actually rich, not the others. And you know, Krishna is not even saying, offer me bunch of flowers, just one patram pushpam phalam toyam. Just offer him and he's happy with that. So, you know, because he knows one flower anybody can get. Bunch of flowers, you have to go to the market and buy them. So he's saying just little bit water, tulsi leaf, flower, you offer to me, do little, you know, other small devotional services, and it makes Krishna happy. Right, Mataji? So we have Garima Mataji, Surinder Prabhuji. Anybody else would like to say? Otherwise, we'll end the call. It's almost 9 o'clock. We've been on the call for 1.5 hours. So it's nice. Today's day is very special, and we can do a little puja, or maybe we can also visit the temple, any local ISKCON temple, or, you know, find out what is going on there, because, you know, some place they're having fire yagna also today. I heard that, but I don't know whether it's specific our local temple or not. But we are collecting together as a home program, and we are fortunate that it's a Friday. Krishna is very merciful. It's a Friday, and then it's the last day of Kartik. So Friday, generally people, you know, they have gatherings and social gatherings and things like that. So we will end the call now by paying our obeisances to all the devotees on the call. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tolerating me. And, you know, I like to talk and speak, and please forgive me if I said something wrong, which is not connected. And then, you know, you can ask other senior devotees, you know, if you felt that I confused you in some way, because I didn't mean to. And I'm really thankful to all of you to be there, and I got the opportunity to speak. But I'm also praying that all of you also, you know, fall in the same boat as me and take up classes, and that way, you know, it's easy for us to also, when we go out to share about Krishna. Bhakti is all about love, you know, sharing about Krishna, Krishna's love, bhakti. So if we can start in this forum, little bit talking, you know, speaking about Krishna, then it'll help us in our material life, you know, to preach also. That's my take on today's thing. Okay, Vancha Kalpatrubhasya Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitaram Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. All the devotees ki jai, Geeta Mataji, Garima Mataji, and Surinder Prabhuji ki jai. And thank you so much, Surinder Prabhuji, for always joining every day. And I was very worried about, you know, I was telling Shamarasika Mataji, what if no one joins there? Because everybody's going to, you know, Damodar month is going on. And I was so thankful that Prabhuji every day joined. And then right after, Geeta Mataji and even Garima Mataji joined regularly. So I'm really thankful to all of you and many others. Ipshita Mataji, Partha Prabhu. So at least we had some association, and hopefully it should increase because everybody is now coming back and from the Kartik month. So Kartik Maas ki jai, Bhishma ki jai, Guru
Rupani Mata Ji ki jai.
No
Rukmini
problem.
Mataji ki jai.
Ranak ji ki jai, Kartik Maas ki jai, and jai to all, and Shri Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to Shri Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Everything goes to them. Today I'm able to speak because of them. Otherwise, I have no capacity to, you know, speak anything. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Happy Gurupurab.
You all have a nice Krishna conscious weekend, and we'll see you on Monday, everyone. Along with Shamarasika Mataji and other devotees, hopefully will join more.
Mataji, happy Gurupurab.
Happy Gurupurab, Prabhuji.